What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here, and this is Arrow, Season 5, Episode 17. Kapiushon? Kapiushon? Kapiushon. I don't know. Anyway, so this one had its ups and downs. And unfortunately, there were a few more downs than I would have liked, considering the idea surrounding this episode. So, first biggest problem that I have is this episode is mainly Bratva-based. Bratva-based. Because it was all about the flashbacks. It was all about, let's see what happened back then with Oliver and Anatoly. You know, what happened with their fight. Ooh, isn't that interesting, guys? What if one of them dies? Because they're both alive right now in the present. What if one of them dies in the past? What would that mean? It means we're terrible writers and we don't know what's going on. I mean, why do we care about this Bratva storyline? I don't. It's the thing, the flashback has become almost like its own little story, but we already know how it finishes. We already know that Anatoly and Oliver make it out alive. And we already know that the Bratva still exists. So clearly, Kovar's plan doesn't work. And yet, they continue to show us the story like, ooh, guys, what's gonna happen? They fill up this entire episode with it. Okay? I'm supposed to watch this entire story for an episode that I know how it ends? I know the results of it? I know Oliver and Anatoly are gonna make it out alive and Kovar probably won't? Why do you waste an episode on this? Especially considering what's going on the outside. So, I don't know, it's honestly my biggest frustration with this episode in general, is just, you have an entire episode based on a story that we kind of already know the ending to, so why even bother? So, problem number one, so, going off of that, we follow this story. I don't really know what the point of it's supposed to be. I don't know, maybe it's going to tie into something later. We see at the end of it, Kovar is apparently kept alive, even though Oliver stabs him somehow. But he's kept alive, and we see Malcolm Merlin, there when he's coming back to life, and he's just like, you find out who killed him? That's his business. And he's like, well, I feel sorry for whoever killed him. So I don't know if maybe they're saying, ooh, guys, the Bratva storyline isn't done yet. So more flashbacks in the future, I guess? Whoop-de-doo. So anyway, that was problem number one. Getting to the main story, though, the actual story that I care about and want to see what's going to happen next, Adrian Chase has Oliver locked up, and he's torturing him. He's trying to get him to confess something. And based on, I guess, the situation surrounding it, I figured it was going to be something along the lines of he wants Oliver to confess that he's a murderer, that he's a true killer deep down, and that he doesn't just do it because, oh, my father told me to. And ultimately, it ends up being he kills because he likes it. He wants him to confess that. And so, ultimately, that's what it's all building up to. So this entire, the torture, all of this stuff is building up to it. Well, at one point, he brings in Evelyn. I'm just like, oh yeah, she exists. Forgot that she actually was a part of this. But her face is, bruised up because apparently he's been beating her. And so she's like, Oliver, I don't want to be here anymore. And he's just like, let me out and we can fight him. She's like, no, he can't be stopped. She picks up this knife or shiv or something, tries to stab him, he knocks him back. Adrian Chase comes in, he's just like, what did I tell you? That you have to confess if you want out of here. And grabs her. She's like, confess now. And he's just like, or I'm gonna kill her. And he's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to confess. Wrong answer. Snaps her neck. I'm like, okay, so that's interesting. And you can see the look on Oliver's face. Like he get down on his knees. He is beaten at this point. You can just see he doesn't know what to do anymore. And so it's just like, wow, that's crazy. And so ultimately, it's just Adrian Chase is just yelling at him. He's trying to force the answer out of him. And finally, it's kind of coinciding with this fight that he had with Kovar back in the flashbacks. Like, they're flipping back and forth. And finally, Oliver says, you're right. I kill because I like it. I didn't kill for my father. I kill because I like to kill. I do it again. And so that's kind of where it leaves off with that admission of liking killing. It's just like, oh, so that changes Oliver completely. Come back from the commercial break, and I told you that he would confess. upstands Evelyn because this show is stupid and doesn't feel like it can follow through on anything serious or intense that it shows us. So of course she's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not dead. This was all part of my plan because I'm smarter than Oliver as well. And she knew that pretending to kill her would ultimately lead to Oliver saying, oh yeah, I'd like to kill, and they both saw through it and they both figured it out, and she's apparently smarter than him now because, yeah, if there's one thing that Evelyn is, it's smart. Honestly, I'm very, very close to saying that I actually hated this episode. Like, overall, I would say it was probably an average episode. Probably a little bit higher than average just because they took some more chances, mainly in the flashbacks. Though, like the woman or the mother of the what's her face, Tiana, I think is her name from last season. Oliver's talking to her mother, trying to get in with Kovar, using her. Well, she gets captured by Kovar because she told him the information, and so Oliver's trying to get in there in time to save her. Well, he gets there and she's dead. Like, he killed her. I'm like, oh crap, he didn't save her. Well, that's dark. But the problem with that is that all of that dark stuff that happened, with the Bratva, with her mother, with Kovar, the killing that he did back then, the fact that he tortured a guy, like cut off his skin to get information, all of that's in the past. So it doesn't really affect Oliver now. And so that's why a lot of that dark stuff I feel doesn't really affect this episode in general, because I'm looking at that stuff, it's in the past. It's a flashback. It's not really affecting the timeline now. It's not affecting the story now. That's 5 years ago at this point. So what does that mean to the present? Nothing. So I look at what's going on right now. Well, Adrian Chase is torturing him. Well, that's dark. Well, he's showing him all these people that he's killed, trying to get him to remember. Well, that's dark. He brings in Evelyn. He kills her. Well, that's dark. Oh, but it turns out this was all planned the entire time, just to get him to admit, oh yeah, I like killing. And that's about it. And Evelyn's not even dead. No chances taken. No sort of emotional impact in this episode. It's just Oliver admits he likes killing, and that's about all that happened this episode. So, for me, at least, I don't know if everybody else is looking at it and just looking past that, like, oh, this episode was amazing because of all the torture and the dark and the Bratva stuff was intense, and I don't know if people are looking past that, but honestly, for me, it was just kind of average. It was an average Arrow episode. There's something, oh, Curtis is dead, he just got shot by Prometheus, oh, never mind, he's next scene, he's alive. He got shot in the heart, but he's alive. Oh, snap, he snapped Evelyn's neck. Oh, crap, that's awful, right in front of Oliver, look how depressed he, oh, no, she's alive. Well, okay. Where's the emotional impact? Where is the weight of this show? Where are the consequences of this? Ultimately, all this leads to is he's in the dumps again. He's in this mood of, oh, we gotta shut down the team, guys. Oh, we gotta shut them down. We got to shut this down. I don't want to do this anymore. So, pretty much kind of how he was whenever he killed Billy for a little bit. This whole mindset of, oh, it's all my fault type thing, and he doesn't want to do this anymore. And so ultimately, these final few episodes probably consist of the team trying to build him back up, trying to say, hey, you can do this and all that stuff. That's all I'm thinking that's going to happen. I don't see this really going anywhere. I don't see this going anywhere interesting because the show doesn't want to. It doesn't want to take a chance. It doesn't want to kill off characters. Ever. Laurel's the last one to do that, but even then it's like you can see where Black Siren's probably going to become the next Laurel or something along those lines. Like, even that, it didn't really feel like much of a death because we saw somebody was going to die. And even then, it was like she said something to him before she died, so there's this possibility that she might still be alive or something along those lines. But I don't know. This season, it's like you had a chance to kill Curtis with Vigilante, but you didn't. Oliver managed to save him. You had a chance to kill Curtis with Prometheus, but you didn't. He somehow survived a throwing star to the heart. You had a chance to kill Evelyn, but you didn't. You just made her a pawn for Prometheus that I still don't understand her reasoning at all. Oh, Oliver's a killer. Let me join this killer because that's so much better. I still don't understand her reasoning. She's still not interesting enough as a character for me to be like, oh, she's turning against Oliver. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Oh, None of it makes any sense. None of it is written well enough. I was looking forward to this episode so much because I wanted to see what they were going to do with Adrian Chase having Oliver as his captive. Instead, they turned it into mainly a story about what happened back then with the Bratva and Konstantin Kovar. And then they had a few scenes that could have been interesting, but then they went back on all of it by, not killing Evelyn, by making it all just this big plot to just show him, oh, you're a killer, you like killing, and that's all it is. There was no death. There was no sort of. I mean, Oliver's not really. He's broken down right now, but there's no. He can come back from this. I mean, come on. I've seen him come back from worse. So it's frustrating for me that they didn't really take the chances that they could have with this episode. Top of that, couple of problems that I do have with the story, just minor details, I guess. First of all, we see there's a scene where Adrian Chase is showing him all of the people that he's killed, and so he brings down the Count's picture. It's like, you killed him with 3 shots. Tell me, confess, or I'll shoot you with the same 3 shots. So I don't know what you're talking about. So, let me show you. And then takes 3 shots. We come back and he's taking 1 arrow out of his shoulder. So did he miss with the other 2 shots, or did they just say, you know what, if he actually did shoot him 3 times, he'd be dead right now. So we can't do that. So we'll just show the 1 arrow be taken out of his shoulder. That will be enough. The other problem I have is the whole sarin gas attack. We see the sarin gas being released into the club. The thing is, not enough people were dying because of this. Like, I don't know, sarin gas is supposed to be really, really deadly, where you breathe a little bit of it and it can kill you with that little amount. We see Trevor, Victor. Victor breathes in just a little bit and he's gone, he's dead. But somehow, we see Anatoly is just like, oh no, oh, now the sarin gas can't get to me through my shirt or anything. Oh, here's a handkerchief, now I'm going to reach through this handkerchief and then in walks Oliver with Konstantin, and they're fighting in the middle of the club, even though the sarin gas was just released in there maybe 30 seconds ago. It wasn't like the sarin gas just said, whoosh, it's just gone. No, it's going to hang around for a bit. And they just walk in, no gas mask or anything, and just like, we're all good to go. Oliver goes up to the machine that's spewing out the sarin gas. I'm sure not all of it is going into the vent system. Some of it's probably going out to the sides. He just walks up, turns it off. No gas mask or anything. He just survives. It's like they just don't care at times. And that bugs me with the arrows, with the sarin gas. It bugs me when a show doesn't care. So, all in all, I'm really disappointed. Honestly, it's probably a better than average Arrow episode because my standard for Arrow is so much lower than the other shows. But based on what I've been seeing, the past 2 episodes, honestly got me really excited for this. It got me excited to see what they were going to do with Prometheus, what they were going to do with Adrian Chase and his story, and what's going to happen next. They don't care. Let's just talk about the Bratva some more. That's about all it is. So, all in all, a disappointing episode. I hate to say it, but it's just the truth of it. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If there's something I missed that you want to talk about, let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Arrow reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.